Come on. Come on. Hello and welcome back to Actually Let's Talk About It with me, your host Lily. And today, y'all, we are going to get into an Iniko official visualizer for armor. And it's been a while since I have reacted to them. And yeah, like it's just been a while since I've reacted to them. I think the last reaction I did for them was Jericho, I do believe, last year in 2023. So yeah, we're going to get back into their music because they're releasing new music. This was released 4 days ago. And I really do love them so much. And they are non-binary, which is why I will be referring to them as them or they in this reaction, out of respect for the pronouns, because I do love to respect people's pronouns as much as I can. So that is why I will be referring to Iniko using they, them pronouns. So yes, that is it and that is all, y'all, for the pronoun verbiage that will be used in this reaction. And then before we get into this magnificent visualizer, I already know, I have not heard the song, but I already know that Iniko does not come to play. They are always going to give us exactly what we need to hear at exactly the right time, because that's just what Iniko does. Okay, that's on period. Alrighty, but before we get into their video, we are going to have a moment of solidarity with the indigenous people all around the world, specifically people in the Congo, in Palestine, in Sudan, and in Yemen. Okay, so I've talked about these regions extensively on my channel over the last couple of months and on the Patreon as well for the last couple of months. And I will never not stop talking about them until they are free. It is always free Congo, free Palestine, free Sudan, and free Yemen over here on the Patreon and on the YouTube channel. And that's it and that's all. But for a brief rundown of what is going on in the Congo, there is mass displacement. There is food shortages. There is food insecurity. There is water shortages. There is water insecurity because in the Congo, there's a lot of minerals that people can use to make the devices that we are using to watch this video, the phone, the tablet, the laptops, the TVs, etc., etc. And because of that, certain types of governments, aka colonizer governments, exploitative governments that are foreign governments, and exploitative tech companies are trying to broker deals in the Congo, whether they have the willing cooperation of the government. But you have to remember that the Congolese government is controlled by basically puppet leaders that are being used and that are installed by foreign governments so that they'll be more lax about allowing the exploitation of their people. So there's that. And then, so basically the Congolese people, who are Black people, are being exploited through their labor. They're being forced to work into the mines, men, women, and children. And these tech companies are seeing billions and trillions in profit while they're seeing pennies on the dollar. This is not okay. They are putting themselves in life-threatening danger, unwillingly so. This is not willingly. Some are doing it because they have no other option, because there's no other business. And that is not okay either. It shouldn't be your last resort. Having to mine should not be something that you have to do because that's the only job in the country. That's not fair and that's not right. So until these tech companies can prove that they're going to ethically source these materials and stop commodifying on Black suffering, stop seeing Black bodies, Congolese Black bodies, as expendable, don't buy new tech from these companies, any companies, because all of them use tech from the Congo, 9 times out of 10. So remember that. They have these minerals that power the tech, from the lithium ion batteries to the coltan. Congolese suffering made that possible. So try not to buy it used, buy it out of the box, buy it refurbished, just do not buy it new. And that is it and that is all. In Palestine, there is an ongoing genocide, and yes, I said genocide because that is exactly what it is, against the people in Gaza, against the people in the West Bank, and the people in East Jerusalem. It is not okay. It is not right. Children are dying in Gaza of starvation. People are dying in Gaza of starvation. People are going through anesthesia without anesthesia medicine. They're going through amputations. They're going through child labor births without any type of pain medication because there isn't any. They're making makeshift hospitals because the occupational forces have blown holes in the hospital, have purposely taken out the medical supplies for the pain relief from the hospitals. I'm like, it's not okay situation. So it is ceasefire now. It is free Palestine until they are free. It is protesting, it is boycotting until they get the message that we did not come here to play. And then we have what is going on in Sudan, where there are warring factions or regimes, however you want to call it, that are fighting each other. While they're fighting each other, the Sudanese people are suffering, and there are immense violent altercations happening, hospitals having to shut down, not being able to be in operation, food insecurity, water insecurity, displacement, mass displacement in the Sudanese region. It is not okay. And guess who is funding these opposing forces fighting? Foreign governments again, and foreign companies again, so that they can take the minerals, specifically gold, out of Sudan. Because again, they're prioritizing profit and resources and land over indigenous black and brown bodies, because to them that's more important. Then we have what is going on in Yemen. Yemen has done nothing wrong. Yemeni people have done nothing wrong to warrant the government that I'm under, aka the United States government, attacking them vehemently in the terms of bombing. But yet that is what's happening. They are already have their aid cut off of the UN for speaking up for Palestine. They are already going through famine and food insecurity. They're already going through they're already going through contaminated water and water insecurity. And then they have this going on as well. And it's all a byproduct of colonial occupation in the region for decades and centuries back that has brought Yemen to the point it's at today in 2024. It's not fair that they are being attacked for being righteous. It's not fair that they are being attacked for standing with Palestinians as they go through a genocide, being one of the first countries to do anything to support them in such a way. And I'm like, it's not okay. And it will not sit well with me. So that is what is just a brief rundown of what is going on with these regions and how you could be aware of it. I'll link some things below so you can get more information. But yeah, that's what's happening. And then we're going to do our patron shout out. So the first patron shout out is go out to Genoviva. The second patron shout out is go out to Clover Me. The third patron shout out is go out to IL. The fourth patron shout out is go out to Amethyst. And the sixth patron shout out is go out to Shayaka. And I want to thank you all so much for your support on the Patreon. It really does mean the world to me. And also a big shout out to the YouTube subscribers as well. Thank you all so much for your likes, your comments, your views, your shares. It really is appreciated. And also, if you're watching this on YouTube and you have yet to subscribe to the channel, do not forget to do so if you'd like to support the channel further. Without further ado, we're going to get straight into Iniko's Armor official visualizer and see what they got in store for us, because I am really excited to see what they are going to do here. Because it's been a little bit of a minute, okay? Come on. 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 Come on now. Come on now. Come on now. Come on now. It'll be on repeat. It'll be on repeat. It'll be on repeat. It'll be on repeat. I already know. Cause nah. Iniko did the motherfucking thing right there. Okay? It's ancestral. It's ancestral. That's the only way. That's the only way I can think about it. Okay? That's the only way I could think about the power that Iniko has in their voice and their presence and their essence. Is something spiritual about them. Like they said in this song, I am not son or daughter, no label, no name. And when they said fear will not destroy me, because that's what people want you to do. They want you to be fearful. They want you to just let things happen against you and take it. And I'm like, that's not going to be us. We come from a long line of people who have fought for their rights, especially as black people, because Iniko is black, as you can see. And I do believe they are African American. I do believe. I might be wrong, but I do believe they are African American. And we come from this ancestry of people who have had to stand against abuse traumatic suffering that was passed down from generation to generation. And we're only, truthfully, as full rights of a citizen on the settler colonialist government and land known as the United States, we've only had rights since 1965 as complete American citizens. Even though technically our ancestors were free back in 1865. It took 100 years for Black people to get all the rights that European American citizens already had. The right to vote, etc., etc. The right to not be discriminated against because of your skin tone, your race, your ethnicity, your nationality, your being a man, a woman, your sexuality, etc., etc. With the Civil Rights Act of 1964 and the Voting Rights Act of 1965. So since 1965, okay, since 1965, it hasn't even been 60 years yet. It'll be 60 years next year. We're in the 59th year. 59 years. It's almost as old as my mom. 59 years younger than my grandparents, my great-grandparents, and my great-great-grandparents. That means they lived a lot of their life not having the rights of full American citizens. So when they said, excuse me for misspeaking. No, not she, they. When they said, fear will not destroy me, that's exactly what we mean. Nothing can destroy us when we come from this type of ancestry, when we come from these type of powerful people, not just as Black people, but as Indigenous people. Indigenous Native Americans be the strongest people that I've ever seen. Their existence alone is proof not only of their ancestral strength, but their strength as descendants of people who literally had their land stolen, were attempted to be genocided out of existence, were attempted to be ethnically cleansed out of existence, and you're still here. It didn't work. It didn't prosper against them. And that's such a powerful thing to remember. That regardless of what white supremacists try to do, regardless of what racists try to do, regardless of what colonizers try to do, you cannot break us down as Black, Indigenous, and other people of color, because we will not bow down. We come from ancestors who fought in way worse times, and you really think that we're going to allow you to try to put us back in that same spot? Nah. You ain't going to break us down. You are not going to put us in a box. You are not going to label us as being anti this or that, because we're not. We're anti-colonialist, anti-racist, anti-white supremacy. And that's it, that's all. And if you feel intimidated by any of those antis that I just mentioned, then you are a part of the problem. You need to decolonize your mind a little bit. Because if you're intimidated by people not agreeing with settler colonialism, you're intimidated by people not agreeing with capitalism, you're intimidated by people questioning what democracy means in the nation that is historically known for being undemocratic, then you really haven't been paying attention. And so I'm really glad that they made this song, because I'm like, we're letting, the fear is gone. We are past fear. We are fed up with the world as it is now. And we are not going to allow it to backslide and to backtrack and to harm more people. We're not going to allow Indigenous people to be killed off. And we say nothing and we do nothing. We ain't going to allow Black people to be victimized. In 2024, we ain't. Black women, Black men, Black children, we are not. We're not going to allow other people of color to be hurt and harmed and killed for no reason. And be silent about it. No. We're past that point. 2024, it is very much the year of reckoning for people who have done very bad things. And I'm like, you're not going to get away with doing it continuously and think that you are going to have a good life and that you're going to be living peacefully while you do evil things. We ain't letting it go. We ain't letting it go, because as a young generation, we are very petty about unrighteous people and never letting people forget how unrighteous they are. We ain't gonna let y'all forget. Okay? Because when Congo is free, when Palestine is free, when Sudan is free, when Yemen is free, we are not going to forget all of the people who were co-signing on their suffering. Not a one of you. Okay? I'm like, when Black people get the reparations we are owed, we are not going to forget all the people who did not want to see us get it, but benefited from our ancestors' work. We ain't gonna forget. We ain't gonna forget. I'm like, Okay, especially because we're going into Black History Month in February, which is like 4 days from now. I'm like, nah. The whole reason why the United States economy as a settler colony exists is because of Black people who are the backbone, the spine of that entire economic system, for centuries unpaid. The only reason why the United States exists today is because they forced Black people to do the work for free. But you don't want to pay reparations to the descendants of the people that you made billions off of and trillions off of free labor for centuries and left no generational wealth for their descendants to have. But you don't feel like you should pay reparations as a settler colony on stolen indigenous land. Okay. I'm like, Okay, this song is getting me riled up a little bit. Righteously so. It's a righteous rile up. Okay, it's a righteous anger. And we gonna weaponize it. Okay? We gonna weaponize it into action. Into righting the wrongs of the past. And that's for real. That's for real. But yeah, y'all, that's my reaction to Iniko's Armor official visualizer. They killed that shit. They killed that shit. This song gonna be on my repeat so very much this year. Cause shoo. Liberation from capitalism, liberation from colonialism, liberation from racism and white supremacy. It is on the horizon, bud. It's on the horizon. It's on the horizon. A free Congo. Come on now. It's here. A free Palestine is here. A free Sudan is here. A free Yemen is here. Colonialist governments and powers that be paying for their crimes. It's here. The reckoning is here for them. The ancestral reaping is here for them. I'm on God. On God. Okay? Yeah. Okay? Thank you so much. Okay, and if you're watching this video on Patreon, and you are a patron on the Patreon, I do want to thank y'all so much for being patrons. Your support is so very much appreciated once again. And if you're watching this on YouTube and you are a subscriber on the channel, again, I want to thank you so much for being a subscriber. If you're watching this on YouTube and you have yet to subscribe to the channel, do not forget to do so if you'd like to support the channel further. And yeah, y'all, until the next reaction, I'll see you on the next video. Bye.